Alright, so in this video here, we're going to be looking at solving linear equations with infinite and no solutions. So we're still working on multi-step equations. So we're just going to jump right into it with a review example here. So we'll speed through this one. So we have an equation. This side is not all the way simplified, nor is this side. So we are going to simplify both sides of the equal sign. On the left side, that's going to be distributing. 4 times negative 3x makes negative 12x, and then 4 times a 2 is a plus 8. And then on the right-hand side, we're going to start out with the variables first. So that's a negative 15x. Remember, the negative stays with the 15. And then as far as our like terms, we have the constant terms there. So subtract 3 from 5, and we get a plus 2. Next up, we need to look at which side we're going to put our variable on. So generally speaking, we move over the smallest of the two. And again, moving is in air quotes. So we're going to add 15x to both sides. So we have a negative 12x plus 15x's makes 3x's. We still have the plus 8 on the left-hand side. Negative 15x's plus 15x's is no more x's, just the 2. Now we have a regular two-step equation. If you can do these in your head, great. Subtract 8, divide by 3. Let's slow it back down here, though. Subtract 8 to undo the plus 8. Remember, we're going from 3x plus 8 just to plain old x. So undo the plus 8 with a minus 8. 3x plus 8 minus 8 is no more 8's, just a 3x. 2 minus 8 is going to be a negative 6. So we're thinking you have $2. You have to pay $8. You have to pay more than what you have. So it's going to be a negative because you're still going to owe. Next up, need to undo the times by 3 with a divide by 3. Negative divided by positive is negative, and 6 divided by 3 is a 2. So negative 2 is the value for the variable that makes the equation true. Pause the video, try this one out on your own. Here we go. We're going to start out with distributing. We have an equation. We need to clean up both sides, so we're going to distribute on the left here. So negative 6 times positive 2 is a negative 12. Negative 6 times positive 3 is a negative 18. And then on the right-hand side, starting with the variables, we're going to add like terms. We have a negative 12x and a negative 2x for a grand total of negative 14x's and minus the 8 there. We do want to get x to one side or the other when we have variables on both sides of the equal sign. So we'll add 14x to both sides. So negative 12x's plus 14x's make positive 2x's. Still have the minus 18. Negative 14x plus 14x, no more x's there, just the negative 8. Again, if you can do these in your head, great. That's a plus 18 and then a divide by 2. Let's slow it back down here. We're going from 2x minus 18 to plain old x. Undo the minus 18 with a plus 18. 2x minus 18 plus 18, no more 18s, just the 2x. Negative 8 or subtract 8 from 18, and you end up with 10 there. Divide by 2 to undo this times by 2 here. So we end up with x equals 5. Go ahead and pause the video, try this one out on your own, and then come on back. So here's our equation here. We do need to make sure both sides are cleaned up. We're going to distribute there. 3 times x and 3 times 4. 3 times x makes 3x. 3 times 4 makes a plus 12. And then the right-hand side is just going to stay the same. We do need to figure out which side. We have variables on both sides. We need to identify which side we're going to move the variables to. And again, that move is in air quotes. We can't actually move variables, mathematically speaking. So we'll move them to the left. So we need to undo this positive 3x's here with a minus 3x's to both sides. 3x's minus 3x's, no more x's, just a 12. 3x's minus 3x's, no more x's, just a negative 5 there. So we get to this step here and we have 12 equals negative 5. Well, that's false. So that means we are going to have no solutions for this equation here. So it doesn't matter what number you put in for x up here at the top, none of them will make that a true statement. No solutions. You can use empty set there. Is the symbol for no solutions. Some teachers will have you write DNE for does not exist also. But basically what's happening here is there's no number that will work. Now here's an interesting little thing. This is empty set. It means none. It doesn't mean 0. It means none. If we said 0, that would mean if I replace the x's with a 0, it would make a true statement, and that it wouldn't do that. There is no number, there's none, that will make this equation true. So empty set, none, is different than 0, at least in this case here. All right, let's go ahead and have you try this out on your own. Pause the video and then come on back, see how you did. So there's our equation there. We do need to clean up both sides of the equal sign. This left side has some cleaning up to do. It has some add-like terms. It had some simplifying to do. Let's start with the x's there. We got 5x's minus 3x's. That's going to make 2x's. And then we still have the plus 6. And then on the right-hand side, that's already cleaned up as much as possible. It's already simplified. Now that both sides are cleaned up, we're going to have the x's on the left side here. So we're going to undo these positive 2x's with a minus 2x's to both sides. So 2x's minus 2x's makes no more x's, just the 6. And then on the right-hand side, 2x's minus 2x's, no more x's, just a positive 6. So here we have 6 equals 6. This does not mean 6 is a solution. 6 equals 6 is always true, no matter what the x is. So in this case here, we have infinite solutions. You can use infinity for an answer. Some teachers like that one. Other ones, just 2 lowercase o's will work for that as well, sometimes if you're typing it in. But what this basically means is that it doesn't matter what you put in for x. It could be a 1, 2, 5, negative 12, 11. It doesn't matter what you put in for x. Any x that you can think of will make this top equation true here. So now if you're looking for the big brain, the shortcuts, when you get to a step that looks like this automatically means you're going to have one solution. And the way we tell that is we look at the numbers in front of the x's, the coefficients. If your coefficients are different, in this case here, it's a 5 and a 2. If those are different, you will end up with one solution. Now, here's another example here from example 2. We ended up with something that looked like this. Now, notice that the coefficients are the same. So when we subtracted the 3x's to both sides, we ended up with a false statement, which meant there was no solutions. So in this case here, if the coefficients are the same, but the other numbers, the numbers without x's, the constant terms are different, then you're going to end up with no solutions there. So same in front of the x's, the other number is different, no solutions. And then the last example we just did, these ones here, they matched. They were identical. So in this case here, we had infinite number of solutions. It doesn't matter what x you put in there. Some people also call this an identity equation. So the coefficients are the same and the constant terms are the same. So they're identical on both sides, which means you're going to have infinite number of solutions.